Hey everyone, welcome to Virtue Healthcare. This is a kettlebell strength workout. In this workout, we'll be working on basic movement patterns, the squat, hinge, press, and pull, all using a kettlebell. If you don't have a kettlebell, don't worry. A dumbbell works just fine. Let's get started. Make your way to standing and we'll start with a nice full body mobility flow to warm up. Start by interlacing your fingers overhead. Bend over to one side like a banana, then the other side. Next, clasp fingers behind your back, fold forward, bending the knees slightly. Allow your arms to come away from your body. Reach your hands to the floor and then walk out into a high plank. Step one foot outside of your hands, rotate and reach up to the ceiling. Repeat this on the other side. Finish by walking your feet towards your hands and slowly standing up. Let's do that again. Reaching the arms overhead, banana, banana the other side. Shoulder extension, bring the arms behind you, folding forward, let your head relax. Walk your hands out into the high plank position. Stepping one leg outside your hands, reach up and rotate. Switch sides, step and reach. Step back and walk your feet towards your hands to stand up. Next, come to all fours for bird dog. The goal of this exercise is to stabilize your body against the challenge of your opposing limbs extending. To increase stability, spread your fingers wide and tuck your toes if you can. Maintain a neutral head position throughout. Focus on actively creating tension in your abdominals. Don't worry about bringing your limbs high, just focus on reaching them straight out. Again, the limbs extending are mainly challenging the core, which is the primary focus of this exercise. Let's return to our mobility flow one more time. Reach your arms overhead, banana your body over to one side, stretching the whole side of the body and then the other. Interlace your fingers behind your back, forward fold, bending the knees slightly. Allow your arms to come away. Walk your hands out into a high plank. Step one foot outside your hands, rotate in the direction of that front leg. Repeat this on the other side, stepping forward, rotate towards the ceiling. Finish by walking your feet towards your hands and slowly standing up. Let's do that one last time. This is a great flow to warm up the whole body and prepare the joints for what's to come in the workout. Move slowly and intentionally, staying in a pose for as long as you feel you need. Walking out strong with your hands, supporting your body in these positions, staying nice and active and engaged. Breathing in and out, nice and smooth. Excellent job. Let's return to the floor for one more set of bird dogs. Starting back on all fours, stack your hips and knees and shoulders and hands. Remember, the goal of this exercise is stabilization against your opposing limbs extending out. Focus on keeping abdominal tension as you extend your opposing limbs. Keep your pelvis tucked slightly and your ribs pulled in. This will prevent any excessive lumbar extension from happening, which makes it more challenging for you to use your core. Great job. Come on up to standing and grab your kettlebell. come to a half kneeling position. Hold the kettlebell in a front racked position. Your wrist should be straight and the ball resting in the bend of your elbow. Support the weight by engaging your lat. Inhale down, exhale to press the kettlebell overhead. Keep your abdominals engaged, especially in the overhead position. Keep your ribs hugged down to prevent lumbar extension. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Hold the weight in the opposite arm to the knee that's in front. Your palm will rotate to face forward at the top of your press. It turns back in as you lower the weight back down to the front racked position. Keep your glutes squeezed to increase stability and also prevent lumbar extension as you press up. Exhale as you press up. Inhale as you bring it back down with control. The whole body should be engaged here as you're working. Great job. Make your way to standing to work on some deadlifts. Straddle your weight with your feet hip-width apart. Bend the knees slightly and hinge at your hips. Grabbing the handle and pulling your shoulders back into your hips to engage your lats. Your hips should be above your knees and your shoulders above your hips in the bottom position. Inhale into your belly as you come down. Press your feet into the floor, exhale, and stand strong. Lower the weight in the reverse pattern to return it to the floor. Smooth and steady, thinking about your mechanics. Now make your way to a seated position on the floor for some hip mobility. Set up with your feet wider than hip width apart. You can use your hands behind you as support if you need. Otherwise, try it with no hands. Windshield wiper your knees to one side. Then alternate. This works on internal and external rotation of the hips. I love incorporating easy mobility exercises into my rest times to make the most of that time during my workouts. Get ready for another set of overhead press. Starting in the half kneeling position, hold your kettlebell in the front racked position in the opposite arm to the front leg. Prioritize keeping your ribs and hips in alignment by engaging your core and glute. This will help you stay stable and strong as you press the weight overhead. Take note of any areas of restriction you may be feeling, as you can do some foam rolling of those areas in between sets if need be. Let's switch sides. Use two hands to help your weight to your shoulder if you need. Starting in the front racked position, pressing straight up overhead. Keep your glutes squeezed and your ribs down as you press up. Inhale on the way down, exhale as you press up. Don't forget to smile, it helps when things get hard. Keep the body nice and strong and tight as you're working. Great work. Let's come back up to stand. Continuing our work on some kettlebell deadlifts, straddle your weight with your feet hip width apart. Start with your hips higher than your knees and your shoulders higher than your hips. Think about lengthening through the backside of the body into the hamstrings, keeping your upper body and shoulders engaged and anchored into the lats. Inhale down, exhale up. If you're using a smaller sized weight, feel free to use a block to build the floor up. We want to prioritize a neutral spine position in the bottom. Great work. Come to a seated position. We'll continue to work on some hip mobility in between strength exercises. Set up with your feet wider than your hips and windshield wiper your knees side to side, trying to keep your feet in place. If using no hand support is too difficult, always feel free to support with your hands behind you. This is my favorite way to use the rest time to work on easy mobility that will help keep our joints happy. I like to choose exercises here that I'm not particularly good at or will help me with the exercises to follow in the workout. Next, we'll come up to standing. We're going to work on a goblet squat. Grab your kettlebell, hold the kettlebell upside down, holding the sides of the handle, and support the ball on your chest if you're using a larger sized kettlebell. Find a comfortable stance for your squat. Experiment if you're not sure. Try wide, medium, and narrow to see what you like best. Bend your hips and knees simultaneously and sit into your squat. Exhale to stand back up. Keep your spine neutral throughout. Great job! Let's come to our next exercise. Next up, set up in a lunge stance. We will be working on a single arm kettlebell row from this position. Hold the bell opposite to your front leg. Engage your core throughout. Retract your shoulder and use your back muscles to initiate pulling the weight up. Exhale to pull up. Inhale on the way down. Smooth and steady. Holding this position is the hardest part. Let's switch sides. Set up again in your lunge stance. If your lower back begins to round, untuck your pelvis a little to recruit your hamstrings to help hold you up. You should feel a little stretch in the hamstrings, indicating they are loaded and supporting you. This is a full body exercise, requiring lots of core support as you pull with the upper body. Make sure to keep breathing. Make your way down to the floor for an arm bar. Start by coming into a fetal position to grab your weight. This is a safety move to save your shoulder any grief getting into position. Holding the weight straight up, raise the same leg to 90 degrees and begin to rotate it across your body until it reaches the other side. Use your other arm as a pillow. Keep your weight perpendicular to the floor at all times. Stabilize your shoulder intentionally by engaging your lat. Slowly roll back to switch sides. Starting again in the fetal position to bring the weight into your body, pressing it up with either one or two hands. The other arm is straight up by your head. Start to roll to your side and see how far you can get your hip close to the floor. Squeeze your weight tight and really anchor your shoulder into your lat to improve stability. This exercise is amazing for shoulder stability, coordination, and is an active stretch for the chest and shoulder. Safely unroll and come to standing. We're going to continue our work with the goblet squat. If you're using a smaller sized kettlebell, you could also flip it upside down and hold the ball part of the bell. Keep your chest proud and spine neutral as you sit into your squat. Find the depth that works for your body. Make sure your knees are tracking with your toes. Inhale on the way down, exhale to press back up. Note any areas that may feel like they're restricting movement. Then you can spend some time foam rolling those areas. Come back into your lunge stance. we will be working on our single arm kettlebell row from this position. Holding the bell in your opposite arm to your front leg, engage your core throughout. Retract your shoulder and use your back muscles to initiate pulling the weight up. Exhale as you pull and inhale on the way down. You can rest your opposing hand on your front knee gently for support, but make sure you're engaging your core all the time. Let's switch sides. If you can, stay up on your back toes. This will make the shape a little less stable, requiring more use of your full body to stabilize. Keep your head in a neutral position to your spine. Continue to exhale as you pull, inhale on the way down. Start by retracting your shoulder. Great job, everyone. Set your kettlebell down and come to the floor for our last arm bar. Start on your side, pull your weight into your body and press it up perpendicular to the floor. Raise and roll the same leg as the weighted arm across your body, seeing how far you can square your hips towards the floor. All the little proprioceptive muscles and organs in your shoulder are working hard to stabilize your weight. Keep breathing. And then slowly roll back onto your back, under control, setting your weight to the side and spinning around to do the other side. Starting in this side position really ensures that you're able to progress the load. If you were doing this exercise with a 60-pound weight, you'd want to make sure your shoulder is in a safe, solid, sturdy position so that you're successful with the movement. One of the goals of this exercise could be to increase the load slowly over time. Again, this exercise is great for shoulder stability, proprioception, and a nice big stretch through the front of the shoulder and chest. Slowly roll onto your back and set the weight down next to you. Great job. Dance your way into a fantastic day. Thanks for joining our Kettlebell Strength Workout. If you enjoyed it, feel free to give this video a thumbs up and share with family or friends. Join the Virtue community by subscribing to our channel where we post weekly videos. If you'd like to work with us in person, we have plenty of virtual training offerings you can read more about on our website linked in the description below. See you soon!